How did this man right here make $1 million last year and pay exactly zero, zilch, nada, no taxes whatsoever on that $1 million? Is the exact question we're going to be answering in today's video. And the best part, legally, meaning everything was above board. Okay, I didn't smuggle any money, I didn't launder any money, I didn't hide $1 million under my mattress, I didn't throw it all into Bitcoin, I didn't have to put it into some offshore account in the Cayman Islands. Okay, all 100% legal and legit, and I'm going to show you exactly how I did that today. Needless to say, you could say that I have an ace up my sleeve. Smash the like button.
Okay.
Okay, now time for what you came here for. But firstly, a quick crash course in how taxes actually work, because some people still don't seem to understand this, okay? So, a lot of people think that if you go out and buy a computer for $1,000, that just magically reduces your tax bill by $1,000. Hate to be the guy that tells you the tooth fairy isn't real, but that's just not how it works around here, okay? And here being the real world. How taxes actually work is it goes revenue, eligible tax expenses, and then you are taxed on the profit that is left over. Meaning, if a typical business corporate tax rate is 30%, then you bought a laptop for $1,000, you could say that would reduce your tax bill by $300, okay? 30% of $1,000. You still have to spend the fucking money first before you make it back in taxes, alright? And no, if you're wondering, I didn't not pay any taxes by the way you might be thinking, which is to make exactly zero profit and have everything as a tax expense and pay zero taxes because I made zero money. I know you hear about a lot of companies, the huge companies of the world, Apple, Amazon, Uber, Facebook, all these huge billion-dollar companies paying zero taxes because they just reinvest everything back into the business. They scale and grow enormously, acquire massive market share, but are technically on paper running at a loss. Is a pretty brilliant strategy when you're at the billion-dollar whale level, okay? Whether you think that's ethical or right or wrong is a different discussion altogether for a completely different video. But for you watching this, I'm assuming you're probably not the CEO of a billion-dollar company, so it is a stupid idea for you to copy what these guys are doing for two very simple reasons, as I'm about to explain right now. Number one is when you reduce everything as a tax expense, okay? I know it's very tempting. You get into the freelancer life, the entrepreneurial world, and you're like, whoa, look at all this world of possibilities of things that I can reduce as tax expenses that I couldn't do before. Because when you're an employee, okay, you earn a wage, you pay taxes, and then whatever's left over, your after-tax income, you have to spend. But when you're an entrepreneur, okay, another incentive to make this whole freelancing thing work is you get taxed after you spend your money, obviously on only eligible business expenses. But it's pretty tempting when you get started into this whole world to just want to reduce everything straight away as a tax expense. Because not gonna lie, you would be astonished with how many things you can reduce as tax expenses. Okay, not only your phone, your laptop, your internet bill, obviously all of your office supplies, any seminars you go to, business events, courses, programs, CMB, even your flights and accommodation to and from like business events and seminars that you go to, all are tax deductible. Even the place you live in, if you live in like a 2-bedroom apartment, you sleep in one of the rooms and you use the other room as an office, you could literally claim probably up to half of your like floor space, they do it by like square meters and shit, as a tax expense, right? So moral of the story here is to get a good accountant. Okay, I'm not an accountant myself. You ideally want someone who deals with entrepreneurs and business owners, not just like everyday moms and dads who work regular jobs, okay? Because they will know all of the loopholes, all of the sneaky tactics and ways of not evading, but just minimizing your tax expenses legally. My accountant, his name's Jason. He's amazing. He deals with billionaires and he knows like literally every loophole in the book. So that's lesson number one. Get yourself a good accountant. Even if they cost a little bit more than your average mom and dad accountant, they will pay for themselves many times over. They are worth their weight in gold. Anyways, first reason why deducting everything as a tax expense is fucking dumb is because, Captain Obvious, you have to spend all of that money before you can write it off and effectively have zero profits, okay? Which means you spent all of your money on eligible business expenses. Congratulations! You played yourself. You now have no money left to live. You may as well just be working a minimum wage job at Subway instead, because that's exactly how much money you're gonna have to live off anyway, given you spent it all on your business expenses in the first place. Reason number two why this is a terrible idea is because writing everything off as a business expense is a little bit like snorting cocaine. It feels great in the moment, but you're gonna fucking regret it tomorrow. Just like writing everything off as a tax expense is probably something your future self may just regret, for the very simple reason being this thing called getting a loan. If you are trying to get a loan for anything whatsoever, a car, a house, a mortgage, even a credit card, the bank is going to look at one number and one number only, and that is going to be your income. How much money did you actually make last year? They don't give a flying fuck about how much revenue your business generated. Okay, they want to look at you and they want to say, how much money did you make last year? Meaning, if you deduct absolutely everything possible, like my friend Morgan, shout out Morgan, it feels great in the moment because you're like, yeah, I'm saving all this money on taxes and paying no taxes. This is great. But then you go and try and get a loan. You go and try and get a mortgage, and the bank looks at your income statement and they go, you made $10,000 last year. You, my friend, are broke as fuck, and we are not giving you a single dollar. Good luck even trying to get a credit card if you write it off everything as a tax expense. And even getting a credit card is probably the best way to build your credit score. So you're basically just fucking yourself over super hard, and your future self is not going to thank you very much for that. If you are trying to get a loan for anything in the next couple of years, then I would strongly recommend that you do not write everything off as a tax expense, okay? It can actually be an advantage to pay some tax, make some profits, do it the right way. If you're trying to get a loan, it'll ensure you get the best deal. Otherwise, you may not be eligible for the loan, or you will just get royally fucked over with the interest rate that they're going to give you. It's going to be terrible. But Sean, you just said you paid $0 in taxes. So what's the deal with that? Excellent question, my friend. We are getting to that right now. So how did I pay effectively $0 in taxes and still not have this problem? Very simple. Firstly, let's just make this clear. I didn't make $1 million profit last year. Okay, the $1 million was revenue. I still have expenses, okay, mainly Mark Zuckerberg, my team, my employees, obviously like software, like ClickFunnels and ActiveCampaign, all that good stuff. Business events, courses, seminars, programs, reinvesting into myself and my business and all that good stuff. It means my overall net profit was probably a couple $100,000, which is still a fair amount and something I should probably be paying a good 50 grand or so of taxes on. And the truth is, I actually will be paying $46,000 in taxes on that $1 million, okay? Now, before you fucking race to that dislike button, just like, oh, but Sean, you said you paid $0 in taxes. This whole video is clickbait. You should be thrown in jail. Dislike, unsub. What happened was I got a grant from the government for exactly $46,900, which effectively, on paper, completely eliminates my tax bill, and my net payment to the government is $0. In fact, they actually gave me $900 instead of me paying them any taxes, which is pretty fucking cool. So how I did that, I discovered from talking to a friend of mine, Jamie, shout out Jamie, who I met at Taki Moore's Black Belt seminar, one of his events he threw a couple of years back. It's called the EDMG grant. If you live in Australia, write these words down and thank me later, because this will literally make you tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars over the next few years. It stands for Export Development Marketing Grant. I'm not sure if it exists where you live, okay, because this is YouTube and I don't fucking know where you live, but this is definitely something looking into to see if your country has any kind of grant like this. Essentially what this is it is a grant that the government gives to businesses who are exporting goods and services. Goods and services, meaning also including coaching and freelancing services that you might be providing to people who are overseas. Now, because 90% of my clients, are probably more than that, live outside of Australia, live in America, Canada, UK, Europe. This effectively means that I'm bringing money into the Australian economy that didn't exist in the Australian economy before. Because of that, I'm strengthening the Australian economy by bringing all this money in and investing a lot of it, but also spending a good amount of it on hotels and flights and bottle service and all that dumb shit, right? The government goes, hey, we like you very much. You're bringing money into our country. We are going to refund up to 50% of your eligible marketing expenses that are associated with bringing in money from overseas. I'm going to say that again. The government is happy to refund up to 50% of your eligible marketing expenses that are associated with bringing in money from overseas. Yeah, boy. Meaning, if you're running any kind of Facebook ads, you have ClickFunnels, ActiveCampaign, you have team members, you pay for flights and accommodation and event tickets to go attend business seminars and events and stuff like that. Courses, programs, anything that is associated with essentially getting business in from overseas may be eligible for this particular grant. And because I had spent hundreds of thousands of dollars last year, about 100 grand of that was actually eligible for this particular expense, meaning the government was actually happy to refund me about $46,000 in this particular grant. They gave me a check, a direct transfer to my bank account, lump sum, and have the money actually 9 months before my tax bill is due. My tax bill is due May last year. I got paid this grant in July. That's like nearly a full year before I actually have to pay the taxes. Meaning, if I invest that money either in index funds, the stock market, or my preferred place, which is my buddy Wade's Forex trading AI robot thing, which is like 100% a year, which is ridiculous, completely on autopilot. If I invested into that, that would mean that $46,000 nearly doubles. Like, it probably will make an extra 40 grand on top of the 46 grand, meaning in that like 9 months, I would have made an extra probably 35 grand from investing it in this Forex trading AI robot thing, which would mean that I actually nearly like made an extra 35 grand out of thin air. And my tax bill cash flow is like covered, and it almost covers my entire 46 grand tax bill when I have to pay it. Pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, boy.
So once again, I'm not sure if this grant exists where you live. You'll have to look it up. But I absolutely assure you it is worth the time taken to research this, okay? Because like I just said, it literally just saved me 46 grand, which is insane. Another cool thing is when the world opens up again, fingers fucking crossed, hopefully soon, then if you do travel at all to go to any kind of business events, seminars, either nationally or internationally, then the government in Australia anyway will actually give you a $300 a day credit towards your expenses, your flight, accommodation, all that kind of stuff. So if you have a 3-day business event and there's like a day of travel to get there, 3 days of business, and then a day of travel to get back, that's 5 times 300. That's $1,500 the government will give you back in grants, which is pretty fucking cool. If you are going to do this, whether you live in Australia or whether you discover your government has something similar, definitely 1000% get a grant agent to do this for you. Do not try and file it yourself, okay? Typically a grant agent will take a commission, usually about 10% of the actual grant that the government gave you. So in my case, I paid my grant agent $4,600, which is extremely worth it because they know all the loopholes, they know all the people to talk to, they know what you can claim, what you can't claim, they'll file everything for you, and they'll basically just save you a fuckload of headache and paperwork, which you don't want to deal with. So that, my friend, is how I legally, technically, on paper, effectively paid 0 taxes. Okay, I know it wasn't technically 0 taxes, I paid 46 grand in taxes. The grant just purely coincidentally also happened to be 46 grand, which makes my net tax bill technically a $900 refund, which is pretty damn cool. If you want to see more of this kind of finance, investing content, things that are external to just getting clients, other aspects of running your freelance business, let me know. More than happy to post more videos like this. Or if you just want to see the same fucking video over and over again on how to get to 10K a month as a freelance copywriter, I'm more than happy to just keep making the same fucking video every single week. Whatever works for you. Whatever you want to see, just let me know in the comments. And I'm happy to oblige. All right, so this has been my crash course on government grants, taxes, and how I legally paid none of those last year into the 2021 financial year. My name is Sean Ferres. You are a sexy fucking beast. I'm gonna go make myself some dinner because I'm hungry, and I'll see your beautiful self in the next video. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe for more badass client getting and tax saving content. If that video saving you 50 grand in taxes wasn't worth at least a like and subscribe, I don't know what is. On that note, I'm gonna go make myself some dinner. I'm hungry now. I'll see your handsome self in the next video. Cheers.